You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
All right, dude.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of The Decent Show. I'm Ryan Money. Joined by me is the always amazing Reagan Horton. Recently graduated. Reagan, how we doing?
Yeah, dude, it's all downhill from here.
Beautiful ceremony. Shake hands with the dean that you never saw for 5 years, or
yeah, a very special moment. That man is apparently important.
How was the speech? How was the?
Oh, it was awful, dude. It was awful. I've been to several graduation ceremonies, and his was absolutely awful. He was talking about like the Vatican and France, and it literally seemed like he was reading from like the most boring textbook ever. Like it just seemed so boring. Like I think he was literally, because he wrote in like whatever you want to say, had written like some really important book. And, like, I feel like he was just reading from it because it was just so boring, dude.
Probably. Really good. How egotistical. He's reading his own book on the graduation speech. He's probably done it every year, and I bet all the other people are just like, God, there goes Bill again with the freaking book.
Like, I feel like he would just get so sidetracked and just go into these, like, really deep lists. Like, he'd be like, now I think that all of you, regardless of race, gender, income equality... Like, all these, like, he'd just go down this list of all these, like, traits and attributes. Like, every time he got to the next part, I was like, just say you include everyone. You don't need to specify, like, all these different areas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got to make sure he doesn't offend anybody and includes everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just the right way. That's the educated way. I mean, you know, if you're non-gender, non-binary, you know, you got to recognize all the people who identify as a stove and, you know, whatever. Man, it looks like we have a special appearance. It looks like the man with the best bathroom in the apartment, Kyle Gamble, is walking in the building. So, hey,
give him a round of applause.
And just let the record show that, well, actually, I don't know. I guess it ended up being like another 5 minutes, but we definitely should have just waited. But I think he normally likes to stay in the bathroom after work, so we might be able to do an episode and then maybe catch him on for a quick 5-minute clip or something. Who knows? I really want to hear what's going on in there for sure.
Please.
So, yeah, got a little sidetracked there, but yeah, back to graduation. What is there anything else of note from the ceremony?
I mean, there was like, you know, there's always like the people dancing and everything instead of just taking the damn scroll and moving on. But you know, whatever, that's fine.
Was there like dances? Was there like cartwheels and I've seen on. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No one did a flip. Yeah, like that video on Twitter. That was great.
That guy eating it off the flip?
Yeah, great stuff. Way to ruin it for you and your entire family all at once.
Well, yeah, he probably had family there. That'd be great if he had like 3 rows of family there. What was the other one? I saw a couple of good ones. I saw like a guy doing like the hardened step back. He got the diploma and then he did like the hardened step back like across the whole stage or something and like, you know, did the cook 'em up.
I know one guy at our graduation, he danced for a while, then like stuck his hand out to shake the dean's hand and then danced some more. I did a real quick swiped his hand up. I was like, you sly dog. And then another guy kissed him on the cheek. That was special.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was incredible. Also, I wanted to like give a shout out. Like, I never thought in all the time, like I made those like graduation pictures, like I photoshopped like myself into Eminem albums. Um,
Yeah.
like my uncle and like my stepdad like gave me like the biggest shout outs for those. Like I was like, can't believe you A saw them and then B like thought they were cool. Like yeah, he's like, dude, please email those to me. Those are freaking sick. Like I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, because I mean
Wait, they loved the Eminem covers?
yeah, they thought they were awesome. And I was like, I
Your
wouldn't even.
parents?
No, yeah, they did for some reason. I don't know why. I kind of figured they'd be
They
like,
look good.
that's so dumb.
It's creative. It's an outlet. They're supporting you.
Yeah, but it's all downhill now. Gotta get a job. Gotta I don't know, find a way to go to the bathroom and work and stuff like that. All the struggles.
Oh yeah, definitely a huge. I don't know. Bathroom politics is really a big deal in the office. I think you'll get accustomed to it for sure. I'm not kidding too. That's what's crazy. There's a lot that can happen in an office bathroom. Like how many are all the bathrooms the same sizes? What are the sizes of the bathrooms? How many stalls are in each bathroom? Is there some bathrooms with no stalls, or like is it only a stall? Like whether you got to piss or shit, you only got one choice. Like there's a lot of possibilities. You have a lot of people. Like is there people with bad diets? Like who's bringing their own lunch every day? Like who's on like a health kick? Who's eating a lot of vegetables? Who's got stinky shits? There's a lot.
What are the politics of that though? I don't understand. Like,
well, in our office, there's a heavy debate about this one guy who like talks in the bathroom. Like, he's like mid, and no matter what he's like, pretty sure he easily beats me for most bathroom visits, which is insane. You're going to the bathroom more than I am. Like, you're in the bathroom too much. So that's one part where he's wrong. And then. No matter whether he's got a piss or shit, he is in there forever, and like he's like grunting, like it's like a strenuous task for him to piss or shit out of his body. Like it is always like a struggle. It's like, oh, there we go, that's the one. You guys catch the game last night, and he's got to talk about it. He's got to like get grunted and get started, and then see who's in the bathroom. He's like, who's in here with me right now? Who's having a good time? And
RP.
Yeah, oh yeah, RP's always in there, man. I'm always like, hey, Drew. He's like, taking a dump, bud? And I was like, yeah, man, having a great time in here. I was really enjoying it until he came along, and so that's kind of the politics. Like, he brought it up one time because I think he said something about it, and I was like, yeah, Drew, like, I really don't like when you're talking to me in the bathroom. Like, I don't want to talk in there. And, unless it's like Gamble. Like, I'll talk to Gamble, but like, I don't want to talk to anybody in there. Like, I'm trying to like act like I'm not pooping. Like I don't want people to know I'm the guy pooping 3 times a day. So like I'm trying to stay incognito. And you got to time your wipes. You got to like wait, make sure that like nobody else is about to get up and get out at the same time, or like if nobody's in there, like you can enjoy yourself a little bit. But as soon as somebody comes in and starts pooping, you're like, oh, I got to wipe and get out of here. That way they don't see you. You don't have to poop together. They can have some privacy. There's a lot of bathroom politics there, and I told this guy that I don't like talking in the bathroom, and he thinks I'm weird. And I guess he starts talking to everybody else in the bathroom about it. And they're all like, yeah, like, no, we don't like talking in the bathroom. Nobody likes it. Like, you're insane. But he's literally insane. Like, nobody can get this through to his head. So like, he keeps doing it. Like, that is continuously his conversation about how he's going to like, he'll talk about something in the bathroom and then immediately follow it up with like, but I know nobody likes to talk in the bathroom. But sports, did you see the sports and all that good stuff? The weather. So, yeah, I don't know. And then, like, who leaves a mess on the counter? Who peed on the floor? Who peed on the seat? These are other bathroom politics that may occur. Who didn't flush? There's a lot of things that can happen, Reagan. You're going to have to get ready for this. I don't think you took classes on this. You were so focused on the engineering, you didn't take any bathroom classes. So you're not prepared. I'll be honest with you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm scared now. It seems like a whole nother world out there.
Oh yeah. No, these are grown folks too. These aren't like little kid dumps anymore. Like, these are grown poops here that we're dealing with. So yeah. Is there anything else you need to know on the subject?
No, let's move on.
All right. So in my bathroom at the house lately,
Is it moving on?
Okay. I thought it was a good segue for sure. What else is happening in your world though?
That's pretty much it, honestly. About to go back home, live with the folks for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much
So yeah,
it.
how is that gonna work? Like is it gonna be like a pain to like move all your crap and then you're just gonna basically possibly move again?
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, it's gonna
God.
suck. Oh yeah, I mean, like honestly, the show is supposed to be about other stuff besides the bathroom, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Uh, Freaking, we were talking off air. I saw Avengers again, and it was
Okay.
funny because I saw it with Jordan, and I was, Jordan's my brother, and like we've talked about, like he's already seen it, and he's seen Shazam, and I was like, I haven't seen Shazam, and it's shorter. Like, you want to go try to see that instead? Like that way, one of us would see a movie we haven't already seen. And
Yeah.
he was like, no, no way, I'm seeing that movie again. So he's like steadfast in the ground about, I hate this movie or I don't like it.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I don't like it. But like, I don't seem to hate it as much as he does.
Yeah, no,
But
I thought that was hilarious that he would rather see a longer movie again.
to go see a shorter movie you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because then y'all could have dumped on it together theoretically, but he hates it that much that he didn't even want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad.
Yeah. I'll see it one day and we'll do a part 2 review. Like for sure, I got to see it now. I gotta dump on it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I don't know if I'll see it again when you see it again. Maybe you seeing it again will be good enough for me. But yeah, it was a movie, definitely. Now, what did you guys think of Avengers what did you think of Avengers for the third time?
I'll actually use this as a segue. Like, the Game of Thrones like wrapped up this week. So like spoilers for this show, but like they ended Game of Thrones and like they like got rid of all the they ended all the plot lines and all the character arcs and like all that stuff and all the battling and fighting is over and like it was just very like underwhelming honestly and like Avengers is basically the exact opposite where I feel like every character went in a direction that like I didn't see coming and I also really felt like it felt good to see it in that way, like even when Tony dies it's like yes that makes sense like he would do that.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the season finale of Game of Thrones, like it doesn't tie anything together, it doesn't make any sense. Like this guy is like the main character and he's supposedly a nobody and then like last season we find out he's like he's like the heir to the throne, like he's like this like super powerful dude and like nothing comes of it. Like he's still nothing like that never came into the fold in any way. And like I was saying earlier, like this big bad villain's coming and he comes there and he gets defeated in one episode and like that's just I don't know just stuff like that it's very underwhelming. I still am not nearly as negative on it it's like other people, but I do think it's like funny that like this is the first time I've actually like lived and like been kept up with a show like when it ended and like people have had such a backlash to it because obviously like we both like Seinfeld, but I mean Seinfeld's last episode is like not good and a lot of people have a problem with that. I think this episode's a lot better than Seinfeld's episode. Like it's just a fine ending. It's not like anything like just atrocious. Trying to think of like other shows I've watched that have like had like terrible endings, but like I don't know, like that '70s show is like just a stupid ending, and like it's not like they just woke up and was like, oh my god, it was all a dream or something like that. Like just stupid shit like that. But it was very underwhelming. I think it's so funny that like everyone's just so disappointed in it. And, like people are signing like petitions to like rewrite the whole or redo the entire last season and like all these memes and everything. There's like memes everywhere. People just like because I guess the director of the show he said something where he was like, yeah, we kind of forgot. And they took that and they basically just like wrote stuff. I was like, we kind of forgot this character was alive at all. And like they have a picture of the character doing nothing in the 8th season. And like, plus like everyone's rallying behind the fact that there's like a Starbucks cup like on the table. And like no one saw that when they were editing the show. And like there's also a water bottle like in the show. Like it's really dumb.
Yeah, well, so you think they just got lazy and careless with the last season? Like they just didn't care?
I mean, a lot of people are like, dude, they got all that Disney money because they're about to make the 3 Star Wars movies. So like, they were like, The two directors
Game of Thrones
are gonna make the next 3 Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus.
So
Are they also making the Game of Thrones prequel?
No.
Oh, somebody else is gonna do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's set like that. I looked it up. That's set like thousands of years ago. So that's set like so far away. It's just barely tied to the show. It's literally just using the name. But I thought it was so interesting that like, everyone who keeps up with the show and everybody on social media is just dumping on it. Like they hate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much that's I guess the word around town that I've heard as well is a lot of people, I guess, hate it or are down on it. But I don't know, one or two of the people at the office claim that they're okay with it and they liked the ending, or either they liked it or, again, they were just accepting of it. Like they didn't really hate it, but they weren't like jumping up and down about it.
It's just really underwhelming. And like the whole show is basically, it just gives you a lot of build up. Like it's build up, build up, build up. At the end of the season, like something amazing will happen, and then they'll build to another thing, and then the next season, like it just continues and continues. And there's like this through line of what's going on, of like who's going to be the one to like finally win. Basically, is it going to be these people who are good, these people who are bad, like the dragon chick, like who's going to win, And it does a really good job of like setting that up. And like, oh my god, I can't wait to see it. And like I think that was sort of a mistake where it was just like, yeah, like all this hype and build up, everybody had such like great expectations for it, and it was A, never going to deliver on it, but then B, like it really just dropped the ball in a lot of ways. So it just And like honestly, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, would I ever go back and watch this show, like knowing how it ends? Because the ending is just so like non satisfying. It's just like, all right, whatever. Like that doesn't really appeal to me. So like, why would I watch the show again? But I mean, it has like great scenes and great moments, but a lot of that is about like finding out what happens next. So it kind of, I don't want to say it ruins the show, but it definitely like takes it down a notch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just the shows that I've watched, or I don't know. Some of these epic shows, you just kind of hear negative things about their endings, and I guess what I'm getting at is, I don't know, out of all the shows I've ever watched, like I haven't watched a ton of TV shows just because it's just never really been my thing. I've just had my select few. But like pretty much any show that has multiple seasons, whenever they do the last season, like, I don't know, like I'm normally not impressed. Like I've really yet to watch a show where I've been like, man, this last season is the best, and I love how exciting and how well it wraps everything up, and oh man, what a great final episode. Like I've just never watched a show where I've felt that way, but I also haven't watched a ton of shows. And then you've got shows these days, kind of like some of your random Netflix shows that kind of just like drop seasons here and there. So I'm like, I can't really even critique those, but just your regular standard TV shows, like I've just never been impressed with the last season. And I don't know, I feel like Seinfeld and like Sopranos and now Game of Thrones are all three considered some of the best shows of all time, but I feel like they're like heavily criticized for the way they wrap things up and the way their final episodes, happen.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's hard to wrap up a show. Like, you keep it going for so long, and then you're like, okay, like we have to basically end this and stop making it, but still somehow keep it exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Especially with serious television.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I was trying to think of, I had like another, I guess, example or point on that, but yeah, that's basically it. It's just any show with multiple seasons like that. I feel like even like shows I don't watch, when I hear people talk about the finales, like I've just never heard anybody come back and go, oh my God, that finale was great. Like I feel like I've never heard those phrases from anybody about any show ever. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever thought that. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to make your last episode of any season great, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that way either, honestly. I think like some shows have good last seasons, but the last episode is usually one that when you're rewatching it, you usually skip it just because even if it's for a funny show, it's usually a lot of serious stuff just to like, I don't know, get you some closure.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
The Office
like,
is really serious at the very end.
Yeah, same with Friends.
Yep.
Like I don't necessarily hate the ending of Friends, but I could definitely skip it just because
There's not that much
It's-
funny parts in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments just basically either trying to make you cry or just a lot of moments where they're like, yeah,
It's over.
closure, yeah, closure. So, yeah, well, you got any more, well, okay, so hang on, back to, I was asking you about Avengers, though, so, well, what did you think the third time, and I guess what were Jordan's thoughts when walking out of the movie?
I mean, I don't, dude. Like I've seen it 3 times, and like I still get really like sad whenever he dies at the end of it. Like I don't think I've gotten any less sad watching it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to see it anymore. Honestly, just I don't want to get sick of it. So I'm probably not gonna. And I do want to do the Infinity War and Avengers Endgame like back to back whenever it comes out. So like I want to be fresh for that. I want to be like looking forward to it. So I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna see it again. But I mean I really love the movie. I definitely put it somewhere in my top 10, if not top 5, and it's in the top 2 or 3 of Marvel for sure. So great movie, love it. It's gonna be hard for it to not be like the favorite movie I've seen this year.
Yep.
But honestly, like looking at the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer, like that movie could be great too. I think it will be great, and it could be maybe my favorite movie of the year there as well, or at least get a shout out in the best movie category. You know.
I hope so, but I'm not going to get that excited for it just only because of Tarantino. Like, really, that's the biggest thing holding me back about that movie is the
Same.
fact that I've just never been crazy about Tarantino.
Same.
Okay, so again, back to Jordan, though. What were his thoughts walking out of Avengers? Is that his second time seeing it?
That's his third time because he took my stepmom to go see it because she wanted to go see it for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Does
thought.
he acknowledge its greatness?
Yeah, he pretty much thinks it's either the best one or the second best one, and I don't know. He really wants them to end it, I guess. Because he's more of a DC fan, so he's like, this was great, this was perfect, like. Just end this, and then I wish DC would, like, take its place, and then we could just go back and forth, for the next, like, 10, 20 years or whatever. I'm like, that would be great. Or if maybe they could go at the same time, that would also be great.
Well, I mean, they're essentially going back and forth right now. I don't know. Like, you can't really expect one of them to stop making movies for a number of years to let the other one make movies.
Exactly.
Like, they're just going to keep, yeah. So.
I'm like, they're making so much money off of this, and Spider-Man's going to make so much money, and so many people are looking forward to Spider. That's really what I take away is, like, he really just doesn't care about Spider-Man, I guess, just because he doesn't like that character that much, and he likes the way this ended so well, and I kind of see where he's coming from, but the movie looks sick, so, as soon as I'm in the theater and get about 5 minutes into it, I'm going to forget about that and be like, wow, this movie's probably really good,
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm rock hard for it, but I get what you're saying. I see where he's coming from as well because I don't know. I guess it is kind of weird that like another movie is coming out so soon, but at the same time, like it's soon, but it also feels like forever. Like I don't go to the movie that often, so like I'm dying for something else to go, like that I like know I'm gonna love when I see it. And like obviously I can go see other stuff like John Wick, but like something like Spider-Man, like I'm invested in, like I'm excited for. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully they don't stop, and I'm interested to see where they go from here because I mean I feel like it's going to be kind of like a soft reboot for Marvel or like a soft continuation of the heroes that are left, and I don't know. I feel like they're going to obviously like form a new Avengers, or I don't even know what their plan really is, and then
I bet they wait a while for the next Avengers, honestly.
Yeah, and that'd be fine. But while they're doing that, maybe DC can figure something out and put out some movies while Marvel's putting out, I guess, Spider-Man 2, Black Panther 2, this Black Widow movie, or whatever they plan on doing. But
yeah, that's another thing is whenever I go back home, like I'm really trying to like see a lot of movies, because it's like the summer, all these movies are coming out. Like I think I'm gonna definitely watch John Wick 3, and I'll probably go with Jordan to go see Aladdin, or my whole family. I don't know. We'll probably have to all go see it, but I'll probably definitely see those 2 movies and probably go see Godzilla and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to like seeing a lot of movies again.
Yeah, same. I might have to, I guess, like find a way to, like, especially if you go see some of these like before me and we're not like both in Houston, like I'll definitely have to find a way to go see some of them myself just because, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be nice to see some movies and have some sods and some debates and some crapping on moments. And, So do you want to note the time right now? Because I have to do something super quickly. And we're back here on the DB show. I had to do a little laundry break. Underwear was in the way for show. So yeah, I did. Where'd we leave off at?
Avengers.
Kind of Avengers and movies, going to see
Yeah,
movies.
going to see movies.
Yeah, I guess let's dive into Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So we're kind of already like touched on it a little bit, but I don't know. Trailer looks pretty solid. Cast looks great. And again, we both kind of agree that we're not crazy about Tarantino, and that's the thing. He can make like a good movie. I don't think he's necessarily making bad movies.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, they're not bad movies. It's just I don't know. They're not my favorites. I feel like they're like hype beasts. Like there's a lot of hype to him. Everybody's excited. He like creates a lot of hype for himself by like, especially like by numbering his films. He has to tell us what film he's on every time now.
This is supposedly his last one.
Really?
Because he said he'd do 9 movies and then he's done.
Then it's probably going to be hopefully the best or the most epic, or maybe it's the worst. Who knows?
Well said.
Thank you. But I mean, I think there's a lot of potential there. I mean, especially when you got Pitt and DiCaprio, and he's got Pacino and Kurt Russell and Margot Robbie, and just all like it's just epic cast. And then honestly, it looks like a pretty interesting plot. It kind of feels. God, I get a sense of like Boogie Nights and like Gangster Squad, kind of mixed in there with a little bit of
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a little Wolf, and then just kind of like that the psycho murder vibe, because I think it does involve Manson for sure. So yeah, it kind of has like that like psychotic vibe you get from maybe like a Thriller, but like not too much, like kind of a light on that area. But I don't know, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean like his movies aren't bad, but I would. Sounds mean, or it sounds just like super critical, but they are kind of boring. Like they are just kind of slow and not really a lot going on. I really like. I mean, I forgot he made Inglourious Bastards. I really like that movie. And then I like Django, but Django is just so long. Like I don't even. I feel like I watched it like while I was doing like homework one day, and I feel like it just went on forever. Like forever and ever, and like I liked that movie, but I wouldn't rewatch it again just because I feel like it's so freaking long. And then I've tried to watch Kill Bills and I've never gotten around to Pulp. I mean, I didn't really like them that much, to be honest with you.
Because they're not that long.
I really didn't like them that much. I don't know. They're like about like kung fu and all this, that, and like revenge, and like there's a lot of cool stuff happening in it. I don't know. It's not really exciting, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, they look like they would be exciting, so I guess I'm a little disappointed to hear that. I still want to try them, at least the first one, to see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Inglourious, I remember, again, kind of enjoying it, not hating it. I definitely want to rewatch it, and then I do want to rewatch Pulp Fiction, because I think I actually liked that one.
Yeah, I need to see that.
But it's long, so I know there's definitely slow parts, but I think it's pretty enjoyable. It's a little weird, and then I think he did... I guess I should just look up his movies, and while I'm doing that, I will talk about Hateful Eight, because I did.
Saw that in theaters, right?
No, almost did, and I heard it was 3 hours long and awful, so like skipped doing that. And anyway, I think I watched. I for some reason had got it on like DVD. I think maybe I found it somewhere for cheap, or I just like was the way I used to buy movies. I just was like, hey, that's a movie, and I bought it. And so I just broke down and watched it one morning. I had like a Sunday where I just like woke up early and I had nothing to do, so I just put on the Hateful Eight and started watching it. And I don't know, it's got decent ratings here on IMDb, but it's a 2-hour, 48-minute movie. It's so long that they have it on Netflix now, and the movie's divided into 4 chapters, and so Netflix literally has it divided into those 4 chapters. Like you...
Really?
Yeah, it's technically not one single movie for 2 hours and 48 minutes. It's like, it has it labeled as a season, and it's got the 4 chapters of the movie as episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, basically.
Wow.
Because, I mean, they're pretty long chapters. Like, it's a slow movie. And honestly, like, there's some excitement to it, some decent acting. Like, the story is kind of interesting. It's just way too long, and it's all in one room. Like, I mean, I don't know, to me, they could cut 48 minutes out of this movie. It's just too much. Too much hanging around, too much random conversation that really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. It's just a lot of witty and old-timey conversation, a lot of racism, obviously, because it's like the 1800s in Wyoming, and Sam Jackson's in the movie, so he's, if I remember correctly, constantly referred to as like the N-word, and he's a bounty hunter, so they're like basically talking trash on him about being like basically a killer and a black guy. I don't know, like it's just an movie. Like, I don't know, like I don't know how to describe it. I guess Tarantino has that effect where like he can keep you interested to where you like, I don't know, this might not be true for everybody, but for me at least, it keeps me interested to where like I'll finish the movie and I won't hate it. But I definitely like have never just like loved it. But it's so hard not to, it's hard to hate it because like the cast is so good and there's always some good parts. Like there's always interesting parts. Like he's obviously a well-known director for something. He's not putting 9 horrible movies out that everybody hates. Otherwise he wouldn't be who he is. So I mean, there's elements of it that are good. It's just most of them are too long is my complaint.
Yeah, I've never seen Reservoir Dogs either. I didn't realize he directed that one, but that one's
That's what I was
great.
looking up. Yep, that's what I was going to look up because I thought that's what he had directed because I'd seen that. I have that on DVD as well, and that one's pretty good. And most of it's good because it's a Tarantino movie, and it's not 3 hours long though.
Yeah, but it takes place in one room.
Yeah,
I've never really been a fan of that, to be honest with you.
I'm not.
But I'll definitely give it a shot. Because it's probably great,
Yeah.
No.
Reservoir Dogs, like Reservoir Dogs is solid. But
you wouldn't put it up there with Godfather and Goodfellas and stuff.
Oh God, no. And a lot of it is
Nice Guys.
No, yeah, definitely not. A lot of it's hindered by the one room thing. Like the one room thing is kind of a factor because I think when I saw that movie, I hadn't seen Hateful Eight yet, so I wasn't prepared for that either. So I was just like, man, like this is, a lot happening in one room. So, he's the director, right? Like that's his role. Like if I wanted to see these 9 movies, I would need to go under his directing credits.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
but that's the thing about like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like that gets me excited is it doesn't really look like the rest of his movies. Like it looks a lot more like high energy and like ridiculous shit happening and like kind of like funny, honestly, and not as dark, I guess. It just looks a lot more lighthearted. But I mean, it's still messed up, obviously, because it's supposedly ties in the Manson murders. I mean, that's like my big takeaway from the trailer is like I'm more excited for this movie. I'm still not 100% sure if I'll see it in theaters, but I'm closer to seeing it than I was after the first trailer, just because we get more of Leo and Brad Pitt acting, and they look funny together, and they look great, and there's Margot Robbie in there too, and like I don't know, just it looks like it's coming together a lot better. It just, I don't know, it just I like from the trailer, I still don't know what the movie's about. Like I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, so I could be way wrong, and my interpretation might be so simplistic that it doesn't really explain anything for you. But my interpretation is Leo DiCaprio is big time actor in Hollywood. Brad Pitt's a stunt double. They're like, it's kind of, and this is kind of what reminds me of Boogie Nights, is because of the era, like the clothes and the people, and then like the way that, to me, the story unfolds. So like basically, to me, Leo DiCaprio is like Dirk Diggler, and Brad Pitt's like John C. Reilly, like from Boogie Nights, and so like they're buddies and they're like in the business together. They're killing it. They're big stars, and then they get old and they're irrelevant, and they're just like, I guess, pissed about it, trying to figure out what to do with their lives. It seems like Brad Pitt might be handling it better than Leo, or Brad Pitt's maybe on the wild side and kind of venturing out. And it looks like somewhere along the way, one of them is either neighbors or stumbles upon Charles Manson, and he's like that crazy looking guy, and they call him Charlie. And one of them stumbles upon him, and it looks like one of them or both of them maybe get influenced into Manson's cult because they are lost, they need direction, and Manson, I guess, is like a psycho influential person. And I'm assuming one of them or both of them get influenced, they join the cult, and it eventually leads to Margot Robbie's murder. and maybe somebody else or other people in Hollywood, because Manson has some kind of problem with them, and I feel like Leo's problem is going to be directly related to how they're hot shit now and he's not hot shit anymore, and that's kind of my take on it. That's what I'm gathering. Now, I don't know how far it'll go. I don't know if it stops, like if it just shows them joining the cult and if it quits, or if it shows the cult committing murders. Like, I don't know how active Charles Manson is in the movie, because the guy looks crazy, but I don't know who that actor is, and I don't even know. Whenever they did that whole like cast of actors, they didn't like show you the name for that guy, the guy playing Manson, from what I could tell. So that was Anyway, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that clears it up a little bit. I'm still, I guess, a little bit confused about how it all, like, just from the trailer, it didn't look like it tied into the Manson murders at all, really, except for, Margot Robbie's playing Tate, who gets, like, murdered. But I wouldn't know that if I didn't, know something like behind it, and they never really talk about it or anything,
Yeah, and like I said, maybe it leads up to everything. It's got huge ratings right now. Like, I don't get this. When does it come out? July 26th.
Oh, does it?
That's what it says on here. July 26th.
But I mean, it's only got a few ratings in, because if it's that far away, most people haven't reviewed it yet.
Oh, I bet that's the actor. Yep. If I had to guess, I think I said it whenever we talked about this movie on whatever episode it was. I said, "Oh, hey, James Marsden's in this movie," and I was like, "I like him, but I can't think of what he's in besides 27 Dresses, and I know that's not what I like him from." And like, I feel like he's playing Manson because he kind of looks goofy like that, so they probably just did his makeup weird to make him look like Manson, because they don't have it listed. I don't think they have any of these actors listed as Manson.
No, they don't.
Or Charlie. Everybody's either not listed as a name, or they have their name already and it's not Charlie or Charles. So I guess my guess is it's going to be James Marsden or whatever playing Charles Manson. He's from X-Men. That was the other thing. Yeah, I think we looked it up last time when I said that. I was like, yeah, he's from X-Men, but I feel like there's still something else in there. Maybe it's 27 Dresses. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. He's good in that movie. It's just I kind of hate it. But the other Tarantino movie that I've seen was Jackie Brown, and it is a crime drama thriller. It's 2.5 hours long. And honestly, I remember watching it, and I don't remember anything about the movie. Like,
great, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so here's my thoughts on this movie I don't remember. So on the poster, it says 6 players on the trail of $500,000 in cash. There's only one question: who's playing who? Okay, so that kind of helps me remember it. And then the description on IMDb is a middle-aged woman finds herself in the middle of a huge conflict that will either make her a profit or cost her life. So, yeah, I guess because everybody's hot on this money, and it's just a bunch of people crossing each other. It's a pretty long movie. Sam Jackson, Robert Forster, who looks familiar, Bridget Fonda, that name sounds familiar, Michael Keaton, Robert De Niro, Chris Tucker.
Wow, Chris Tucker.
Yeah. So, it's a pretty interesting movie, but it's just another one. It's a little long, a little slow from what I remember.
Seems to be the theme.
Yeah, I don't think, it's not as, Pulp Fiction's the same length, about 2.5 hours, and Pulp Fiction doesn't have that problem as bad as, Jackie Brown does, and then Reservoir Dogs is pretty good, but it's definitely plagued by the one room thing, and so then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm excited, it looks interesting, but again, I'm just, I don't even know what Tarantino movie is my favorite of all of these. And I feel like I'm kind of lukewarm on all of them. I'd give them probably all a decent to mad decent. I don't know if I'd consider any of them fuego, except maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood once we see it. Mm-hmm. Do you give any of them a fuego? I mean,
no. I'd give Inglourious Basterds a mad decent for sure. But I mean, I even that movie I really like.
Sin City. He does Sin City.
Did he direct that movie?
Yeah, it says got him listed here as director. It even says it on the poster. That's what I meant to say earlier. What do you think of Sin City?
Sin City's it's got about the same problem. You could cut about 45 minutes out of that movie.
The 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I know, but it's literally it talks about a bunch of different stories, and one of them's got Elijah Wood, which isn't very good. But the one with Bruce Willis is great, and the one with Mickey Rourke is great too. But like, yeah, that's another movie where I really like parts of it, and then other parts of it I don't like at all.
Yeah.
Because it is like just 4 or 5 random stories just put together. It's a very weird movie, and it's shot like a comic book. It's all black and white, and like everything's super stylized, and then like only things that are important are colored. So like people's blood, or like this girl has like really blonde hair, and that's like the only thing that's colored.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. It's definitely interesting, and I didn't know how I felt about it before and after I watched it, and I never did see the second one, but I think I own it. So someday I'll get around to that. But I don't think Tarantino did the second one based on what I'm seeing on his directing credits.
I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think that movie was very well received. The second one.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Do we have anything more on Once Upon a Time?
No, I mean, it's just a trailer. I don't know. We'll see. If they come out with another, they'll probably come out with another trailer like right before it comes out, and if that one's even better, then I'll definitely go see it. But as of right now, it'll be sort of like a game time decision sort of thing.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm shown on IMDb so far, I feel like I'm going to try to go see it in theaters. I guess it just kind of depends on where I'm at once the movie comes out in theater. I mean, I feel like ideally I'll be in Houston, hopefully with a little free time here and there, so might be able to go see it at some point.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing. If you go see it, then I'll probably go see it, because then we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Hopefully we're in the same city too whenever that happens, like, so we don't have to go see it separately.
Yeah.
Take the plunge together, sneak in some notepads, take some proper notes.
Taking notes.
So let's see, what else has been happening? I've been watching a ton of Seinfeld lately. Gamble and I, we've basically gone. I feel like I just picked it up in the middle of like season, I don't know, 4 or 5, and we're at the beginning of season 8 right now, and we don't even watch TV that much, so like we're watching quite a bit of Seinfeld. We pretty much just like put it on at night, and like it just runs until we go to bed, basically.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, great show. I've been quoting that a lot lately. Got my speakers fixed so I can boom down the street.
You want to talk about the weather, right?
Get the bitches wet. Yeah, speaking of wet, the weather has been super interesting lately. So in Tulsa, Oklahoma, greater Oklahoma area, maybe even leaking into Arkansas, we've had, tornadoes and rain. And, apparently it's just part of the season. It's tornado season. And I don't get it. Everyone lives here and like they act like it's no big deal. And then when it's happening, it's like the biggest deal ever. They're like, it's tornado season, but I've never seen a tornado. Tornadoes are lame. Weather's lame. Blah, blah, blah. And then like the second the tornadoes start coming, everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to have to bunker here. And I'm going to have to take photos and we're all going to go outside and look. Oh my God, the weather. And then whenever like it clears up a little bit, they're like, oh man, thank God it cleared up. That weather, there was like a tornado 25 miles within my house. I mean, almost died, and just, it's just nonstop weather conversation. And like even the young kids at the office, they're like the 20-year-old, they're like, oh, tornadoes, oh my God, and weather. And it's been insane.
It's a great measuring stick of how little you have to talk, like how little you have in common with someone when they bring up something like that as often as that.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine. I mean, it's, it's the office. I mean, but still, I just get sick of it. And, because it's like, well, what are we going to do? Like, they're making us come to work anyway. Like, it's like, hey, like, there's tornadoes, but make sure you come in. 9:30, right? Don't be late. And so we have to work anyway. Nothing's happening. The power has not gone out yet. We've still had internet. We're still having to call people and work and do all that. And, I don't know. Just, I get tired of hearing about it. Like they just keep talking about it. And I just want to be like, it's not going anywhere. Like it's just going to keep happening. you know, we haven't died. Oh, that's what I was trying to get at. Is they keep talking to me and Kyle like we're stupid and we don't know like what to do about weather.
Listen, when there's a tornado, you want to get like an umbrella and you just want to hold it.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you hold it. Make sure you hold the umbrella with the the panned outside to protect your head. You want to hold the stick part of it and, elevate it above your head. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they just talk to us like we don't know what we're doing. They're like, have you guys ever seen, weather like this? Have you ever seen this much rain? It's like, yeah, like we lived in fucking Houston, like Rita, Harvey, like pick a hurricane. Like we had overflow from Katrina. Like pick one. Like we know what's happening. Like we don't care. Like guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the same thing we do when it's sunny. We're gonna stay inside and work. Like what difference does it make? I don't know. I just get sick of it. So yeah, a lot of weather lately.
Oh man, dude, I'm really upset that I'm missing that. That's some good stuff right there. I mean, not really.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible. But like,
it was really bad. It was mostly bad on Saturday. Saturday was kind of scary because, because I guess there was tornadoes everywhere and they were in the direction of which we had to drive vehicles for weddings. I guess not me. I got lucky, but like Gamble and one of the other guys I was talking about off air, they basically had to drive through like shit. Like literally, apparently they had the Google map images.
mm-hmm.
Apparently this kid had a tornado on both sides of him and he was like just driving like between them and like and he was like basically in their like danger zone. Like there's like the eye of the tornado and then there's like, it's like surrounding like danger zone. He was like in the midst of that at several points during his drive. So like, honestly, if I were him, I would have been shitting my pants and contemplating quitting the job. But like, honestly, dude, like I was kind of nervous driving to my show and I was driving away from the storm. So like, I could not imagine driving in it and towards it and through it. So like, and it's like, but we can't, we guarantee our service. Like we have to be there. And these people, I guess, are there. They're not canceling their wedding. Apparently they all drove to it, so, yeah, I think that was probably like the scariest part. And that's when it was interesting. And now at this point, it's just very boring and very tedious because it's just all anyone can talk about at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that wraps up the weekend weather update. By O'Reilly.
What a great segment.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you got what's going on with your weather? Is it still dusty and windy out there?
I'm not talking about the damn weather.
Well, we're fascinated to know about it. Well, I know a lot of people have been tweeting about like, what's your weather like? We're always hearing about Tulsa weather, but
what's your weather pronouns?
Yeah, what's your weather? Yeah, pronouns for sure. Like, how do you identify your weather? Are you like thunderstorm? Are you precipitation? Is it rain? Like, what are you going with?
Of course.
Scattered showers. So there's a lot of gender pronouns there for weather. So.
Well, before I blow my brains out with all this weather talk, you wanna talk about the NBA a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Let's get to the man part of the show. Crack a beer, talking about sports.
Dude, I was watching this episode of Friends today, and he's at like that drag queen show, and like the lady man, whatever, comes up to him and is like, "Yeah, what do you have?" And he's like, "I'll have a beer," and like slams the table, and she's like, "Yeah, I got it. You're straight."
I do love that part. That is definitely a good reference. I feel like that's like one of the. Maybe not specifically the episode, but like that set of episodes in that season is like some of the stuff I've seen the least. I don't know. Like I feel like when I've watched all the Nick at Night reruns, like I very rarely get to see that set of episodes.
Yeah, it's at like the very end of one of the last or close to the last season. So
yeah, because Monica and him are like really deep at that point. So yeah, it's like season 7 or 8.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they're like talking and shit and like having a relationship and.
Dude, basically turns into a horror show at that point.
Yeah, because that's when Monica and Lily to me do the same thing. Like their characters like just
Lily off of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, like they get better for a little bit. Like at first they're kind of whatever, and then they get better. They get a little hotter. Stuff happens, and then like by the 3/4 to the end of the show, I just hate their guts. Like they're like I can't stand them. Like, I think, like, by the end of it, like, Monica becomes my Phoebe, and same with Lily.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see. What are we talking about? We're talking about sports, though. Let's talk about man stuff here.
Sports.
So, actually, I got a phone call. Who could be calling me at this hour?
Probably.
Oh my God, Mom! I'm trying to record. God, she loves me so much. It's annoying. So, on sports, though, what did you think of
the Western Conference?
Yeah, let's talk about the Western Conference first because I'm so happy about it, but I want to hear what you think about it.
Well, I'm not happy at all about it. I hope you're being sarcastic.
No, I am not being sarcastic. This is the result that I predicted. Well, I didn't really predict it. I gave Portland a game.
Yeah, you said gentleman's sweep.
I said gentleman's sweep. So I didn't predict it, but I just didn't feel comfortable saying flat out sweep. And sure enough, Portland had significant leads in 2 or 3 of those games, took them into overtime in one of the games. So my theory of gentleman's sweep was about as close as it could get without being, correct. So
well, why are you so happy about it?
Because I want people to suck a dick and realize that the Warriors are still good without KD. If anything, they're potentially better, and that the Rockets didn't choke. This proves that the Rockets are still. I mean, I guess it doesn't just because the Clippers also took them 6 games, but I talked about that as well. The Clippers again, KD was healthy. They were running through KD, and they were not really shutting him down, but they were just giving him so much attention.
Yeah,
I don't know. To where the Warriors just weren't playing their style of basketball. If the Warriors were playing without KD against the Clippers, I could see them gentlemen sweeping or sweeping them. But for some reason, the way they played against the Clippers, the way they played against them, and the way they used KD, that caused them to lose a couple of games. And they lost those games at home, which is even crazier. But I don't know. To me, Portland getting swept, and I think Denver probably would have been swept or gentlemen swept as well, just proves that none of these teams are that good, and that the Rockets are that good, and that the Warriors are even better, and they're just freaking unstoppable, and that people can just shut the hell up. I hated all those tweets and all that media coverage of the Rockets choking and
it was bullshit.
And the Warriors, oh man, nobody this is the time to beat the Warriors is without KD. It's no, they're still good.
They still have an MVP and then 2 other All-Stars.
Yes. And I don't even know if it's actually helped just because, kind of like you say all the time, first take is just, they're just on the next thing. They rarely backtrack and go, hey, maybe the Rockets aren't so bad because the Blazers got swept. No, they're just the Warriors are the best. The Blazers suck. And then they're not talking about their previous wrong predictions, but.
All right. Well, I guess on that basis, I agree with you. I'm glad in that sense. I am disappointed to see the Warriors go again.
Of course.
And just in general, unless the Rockets are playing, I really just never want to see a sweep. I'd like to see some competitive basketball. We'll get to it in a minute, but I'm going for the Bucks because I like that. I root for the Packers, and so I got a little bit of stay there in Wisconsin. Not like a hardcore fan or anything, but I definitely go for the Bucks. I like Giannis just on his own. But they were up 2-0, and I was still, come on, Raptors, win a game or two. I wanted there to be a series about it. I want the Bucks to win over there overall, but I just don't want to sweep in the conference finals. It's eh. So I was very disappointed in the Blazers, and I was talking to Jacob about it, or I was. Jacob sends me all these memes and stuff on Instagram, and he was saying how they blew. It's a great point. They blew 3 15-point leads in a row. So the Blazers kind of brought this on themselves.
Yeah, and I think one of the guys on NBA TV just kind of brought up the point that now without KD they're playing like the old Warriors, and the old Warriors were notorious for just kind of having a so-so start in the first half, so basically, to me, the old Warriors, before KD, they either blew teams out from the very beginning, first quarter, or they, sucked the first half and blew them out in the third quarter and by the end of the game. And that's essentially what they did, all of those games against the Blazers. They, just kind of did whatever in the first half, let the Blazers make all their shots in the first half and locked them up the second half, and they couldn't, hit the broadside of a barn. So, and then obviously the Warriors got hot because they're making the Blazers miss, and they're getting out in transition and getting all the shots that they want and setting all the screens and, steps, crossing everybody over, and they just look like the old Warriors, and they swept them. So, like, I like you said. I mean, because I agree with what you said. I would prefer a competitive series. I would like to, if I'm going to sit down and watch the game, I'd like to not know who's going to win, and there'd be excitement, and it'd be back and forth and all that. But if this, like, if for any reason it didn't go, because I knew, nobody predicted the Blazers to win this series, and if they did, like, sorry about you, but I don't know. To me, the only two things I wanted from this series was either a 7-game series where it's a dogfight or a sweep, and that's what happened. Because because if they went 6 games, if they went 5 or 6 games with them, then it just kind of makes it okay. And if they went 7 games, it's epic. If they get swept, it's also epic and just proves what I was saying earlier.
So who do you think that anyone's got a shot out of the way? Like, based on what you've seen so far, let's assume Kevin Durant doesn't play because he probably doesn't because he's torn his Achilles.
Now what they said is a calf and now it's an Achilles?
No, they have not said that, but that's what it is.
What do you? Oh, they haven't said it because they're protecting him.
Basically, they don't want to show their hand.
Oh, wow.
Because there's been a lot of speculation on like just the way he was injured and the way it looked like he had you get the sensation of you got kicked in the back of your leg, and that's what it looked like for him, and just the way a calf strain that's kind of serious, but you figure he would still try to play in some of these games, even in limited minutes. So like there's just a lot of analyzing that he is done for the season, for all intents and purposes. Like maybe if there's a game 7 in the finals, but even then I don't know. So he's probably out.
I hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't even thought about that angle of it. I was thinking that maybe they were just sitting him out because they're like, hey, we play better without him, and he's going to leave anyway, and we don't like him, so just let him rest. I didn't even think about the fact that they're saying it's a calf injury, but it's not, and they're just trying to protect him and protect themselves. That way he can get signed in free agency, or I guess what does the Warriors benefit by them protecting him?
Basically, I would guess that if you're just not, if you're not like forcing him to play or anything like that, he's not going to resent you as much, and maybe he'll stay. Because at this point, that's all they really want out of him is him to stay. I mean, they're not going to. He's a free agent, so they're not going to get anything trade value wise or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of weird. Like, I guess I get that point. Like, yeah, why would they not want him to stay? But at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like the teams had such, like, because, yeah, if he leaves, they get nothing out of it. But, I don't know. The teams had, like, such chemistry issues, apparently, and all this stuff we don't know about, and all this stuff happening behind closed doors. And, it's a guaranteed thing that he's leaving and this and that. Like, it's almost like, is it worth keeping him if nobody wants him there? Besides the ownership, like obviously ownership doesn't care, but like I guess players.
Yeah, I don't know that. Well, Klay Thompson, his decision also probably plays into that some way. Because I don't think Kevin Durant and Curry have an issue. I think it's like Draymond and KD, and I think that they would just be like, well, we'll see you later, Draymond. Like I know there's like loyalty and all this other stuff, but I really. I think they'd probably just bite that bullet and get rid of him and trade him for something else, or let him go, especially to save some cap space.
Yeah, I guess.
I think they're still trying to make it work somehow.
I can see that, and I feel like this offseason is going to be fascinating. Then to just see just the Warriors in general, just to see what happens to them. Hopefully, something significant happens, like in a good way for the rest of the league. Like I hope that the Warriors don't somehow pull off a miracle and get everybody re-signed or whatever, or somehow get better. They like trade Draymond for Anthony Davis or something stupid. But
I was gonna say, like, what if like Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and like Anthony Davis and like Kyrie Irving all go to the Knicks? So like they're basically just a new Warriors in the East.
I would just sell out and be a Knicks fan until they won, and then whenever they won the championship, then I'd hate them after that. Like if their first ring, I'll be happy for them. After that, I'll hate them.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, I guess that would be insane. I don't see it happening.
No,
but
that's a ridiculous thing.
I don't.
That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. Well, it's not that far-fetched. Like, it could happen, except for maybe Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if KD leaves, I don't think Clay would leave. Or if Clay leaves, there's a better chance KD stays. Or maybe they
vice
both
versa.
leave, which would be ideal for me, is if they both left and went to different teams. If they went to the same team, depending on the team, I'd be excited about it. Like, if they both went to the Knicks with Kyrie, I'd be a Knicks fan for sure. Like, no doubt. I'd get all 3 of their jerseys. I don't care. But I'm interested to see what happens with the Warriors, like we just said. And then I'm interested to see what happens with Anthony Davis, because, like, the Pelicans are, like, being pretty, like, dickish about it. But, like, it's a smart dickish. Like, it's like they're just going to be like, hey, man, like, this guy wants out of here. And, like, everybody wants him, or, like, people are, everybody wants to have him. They'd rather have him than not have him. But it's like, what are you going to give up for him? If he's not going to play for us, because they're still trying to convince him to stay and play.
And they got Zion now.
Yeah. Now, what's this beef, or what's this rumor that he might go back to Duke? Is that true, or is that finally blown over?
No, that's just a rumor. I don't think there's any, I don't know,
There's a little bit of weight to it. I got an ESPN update about it. I just never read it.
I think it's all just, like, exaggeration. That would be wild, though. Like, if he was just like, screw that, I'm not playing for New Orleans. Like,
yeah, like, for some reason it said, could Zion snub the Pelicans and go for his second year at Duke? And it's like, but why? Like, I understand not wanting to play for the Pelicans, but why?
Take that money.
Take the money. Yeah, why go back to Duke?
You're not even going to graduate. Like, so what's the point?
Yeah. And if you do want to graduate, you can still be in the NBA and graduate. Like, you don't need to play college basketball. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I'm hoping it was just a crazy rumor. And, maybe he doesn't end up playing for the Pelicans. But, I mean, if he doesn't go to the NBA, like, if he decides to go back to Duke, I mean, to me, that is super bonkers. But,
well, that's another thing, is they haven't even taken him yet. So maybe he's just trying to say that. So they're like, well, screw that. We'll take R.J. Barrett or someone,
Yeah, maybe. But, like, I don't know. Like, what difference does it make? Like, what's so wrong with the Pelicans that's, what's better about any of these other teams that have top picks?
I think he just wanted to go to the Knicks because it's New York and they're probably going to be good this next season. Like, they're going to immediately be good, whereas
but the
he's
Knicks
probably going to have to
pick are the Knicks. Aren't they like 6?
No, but, like, he wanted, the odds were in the favor of the Knicks getting the pick.
Of course. No, of course. I understand that.
So they would have gotten the pick, and then they would have taken him. And there's all this hoopla about, Stephen A. Smith is saying, he's heard from sources that it's like a 95% sure that Kyrie and Kevin Durant are going to go to New York after the season. So, like, you got Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Zion Williams all on one team. I mean, you can succeed immediately and be in the limelight and all that stuff, be successful and not have to suck, for probably 2 or 3 years until the Pelicans either get good or he gets out of that deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just go to the NBA. Like, I don't get it. But and the other thing too is what pick are the Knicks?
4th.
Like, I understand they are 4th. Yeah, I just don't see them slipping to 4th. I mean, but I get what you're saying. Obviously, theoretically, the Knicks should have got the number 1 pick. They would have drafted him. Yada yada. But that didn't happen. I guess,
which is crazy when you think about it. The 4th pick. So, like, Zion, RJ Barrett, like, they're all going to be gone by the time the Knicks get to pick. Like, all the top prospects, like the upper echelon.
Yeah, the Knicks are probably just – I mean, that's the thing. Like, obviously, we've seen great players, picked in the top 10. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of guys that are just, anywhere in the top 10, and they're not, like, the first or second that turn out to be some of the best players we've ever had. But – for some reason, this draft class kind of seems that way. It seems like the only 3 the only 3 draftees that people care about are Zion, RJ Barrett, and then John Moran or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them will be taken in the top 3. And then, that leaves the Knicks with, I don't even know who. Like, I don't even know who the next valuable prospect is.
Yeah, there's just a big jump down. And they, like, the thing is, like, they all look like they, it's just a look, but they just all seem like they're going to be at least something in the NBA.
Yeah.
At the very least, like maybe, like a Karl Anthony Towns, like just a solid player that's drafted. Maybe not,
Yeah.
maybe not a superstar, but they all seem like they're going to start and contribute.
Yeah, they all do. And I think that Ja Morant or whatever is favored to go to the Grizzlies. And if he does, they're going to trade Mike Conley, which I think it'll be interesting to see where they trade him to. And I think even though Mike Conley's like the leader in all time, like Grizzly stats or whatever, I think it'd be best for him to, go somewhere else and maybe try to do something while he's still got a couple of years because he's getting up there.
Yeah, like Marcus Gasol.
Yeah, definitely. Like Marcus Gasol is doing something now.
But
speaking of, are we going to talk about the East?
Yeah, let's talk about the East. Marcus Gasol, it was funny. Like I was watching game 2 and 3 of the series, and like I was just like, he's just fallen off so greatly. Like he used to be so dominant, and like he just looks so hobbled, I guess. Like it just looks like he's very close to hurting his back or something. It just looks like he's a little too old, and it's a shame because he played with that Memphis team for so long, and he had to play in the West. Like if he had just played on the Raptors team or just anywhere in the East on a solid squad, like he could have probably gone to the finals or something. So I kind of feel bad for him just because timing wasn't really on his side. But then he plays a great game 4. And he's a completely different player now. He's making like perimeter shots, and he's not as aggressive, and he's not like the ball handler and main or one of the main scoring options.
Yeah, but he was dominant with the Grizzlies, and a lot of it, they had a lot of epic first round battles with the Spurs and Thunder, and just they had a lot of, considering they're not that good a team, like him and Conley, like made them, a playoff team, and like he used to dominate inside and out. He's always had a nice little shot, but he used to have a better post presence, definitely, like be more aggressive, and definitely, like you said, used to handle the ball, make plays, make passes, and now he just kind of stands at the perimeter and moves the ball around, kind of like Draymond does for the Warriors, but he does it a lot slower. Mark does it a lot slower, and yeah, every now and then hits a shot when he's like wide open. Like, I don't know, sometimes he'll like take forever to shoot it. Like he'll just sit there and go, I got to pass it to somebody. And it's like, dude, you're open for like 5 seconds. Like just shoot it.
Yeah. And his brother's on the other team too. And he's out for the season.
Pal's on the Bucks?
Yeah, but he's out for the season. Like
I thought he retired at this point. I didn't even think he was still playing.
Yeah, he was playing for the Spurs and he got traded to the Bucks. Might have been, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say sign and trade, but
released.
Yeah, I think he was released and then picked up by the Bucks. And I think a month later he was out for the season. So he's on their bench somewhere.
Well, I mean, good for him. I mean, I thought he was done. I can't believe he's still playing. And Mark's, obviously getting up there too. And yeah, like you said, if he was on any other team sooner, like a better Western Conference team or any decent Eastern Conference team, yeah, he probably would have, I don't know, he'd just be more well known, probably just have a better career, have more playoff appearances. Again, like you said, maybe be in the finals at some point or be in the Eastern Conference finals more often. But it's a shame. And I don't know, he still got paid good money. I mean, he was, the only star in Memphis. So, I mean, he didn't maybe get the playoff glory, but he's definitely got like the fame and attention from a city, a ton of jersey sales and probably, some decent paychecks over the years. So it's almost worth it to not get a ring.
So what do you think is going to win the series?
Now, see, what's been crazy is after the first 2 games, I just kind of lost interest in all of basketball because, obviously the Warriors were sweeping the Blazers and then, the Bucks dominated the first 2 games. So like basically after 2 games in each conference finals, and I think maybe the Warriors Blazers had played another one at this point and they won that third one. I just kind of stopped watching basically after the first 2 games of both series because the Rockets aren't in it. And I just assumed both of them were going to be a sweep the way it was going. Maybe not a sweep on the Eastern Conference side, but I kind of lost interest because I was like, if the Raptors win game 3, maybe I'll start watching again. And I think I wasn't able to watch game 4 because of like, bad scheduling. Like I just wasn't able to watch the game, or we watched the middle of the third quarter to the end of the game. And at that point, the Raptors were already dominating and they just stayed dominating. So,
yeah.
So I really don't know what's going to happen at this point because basically I would say the Bucks still win it because the Bucks kept it close in Game 3 and Giannis had a horrible game. So and then they all had a horrible game.
And he fouled out and they still barely won in overtime.
Yeah. So I would say I'm still favoring the Bucks, but I'm definitely like pleasantly surprised that Toronto was able to defend home court because now it's, basically 0-0 with a 3-game series. So like it makes it interesting. Game 5 is going to be a big deal. I'm going to take the generic bet, and I think whoever wins Game 5 will win the series.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be 7, and it'll be the Bucks. I just think they're too good. We've had this discussion many times. Like a lot of people don't think there's a team except for Giannis, but Giannis doesn't play every single minute. Like they have sets and like rotations out there without him out on the floor for 5-6 minutes at a time. And they do fine, they spread the floor out, they shoot the three, they cut and pass all the time. Like they do a good job, and they just have a really solid deep team. Like there's no stars really, like Bledsoe, there's just really no one sticking out on the Bucks, but they just have such a solid squad and they have home court advantage, and Giannis has the potential to just go off, and that's pretty much when it's over. I just don't think the Raptors are deep enough, I guess. I think that they all have to play super well. So I just think that they're gonna, win on their home court one more time, and then I think in the 7th game, I think it'll be the Bucks that actually win. But I don't know if you saw, but Kawhi dunked on Giannis. It was really awesome.
See, that's the other thing. I feel I'm having a hard time giving a more specific opinion on what I think will happen in the series, just because I haven't watched enough of the series itself. I haven't really watched any of the games. The most I've watched is, like I said, third quarter to the end of the game of Game 4. So I've pretty much missed the first 3 games. So I have a hard time just kind of forming an opinion on what I think will happen, just because I don't know what's going on with Giannis, and I know that he's obviously the biggest part of their team, but they really do have a squad, and just looking at the stat line, the fact that they kept it close Game 3, to me says that they're going to win the series. But at the same time, the more I've watched the Raptors play, I didn't realize how deep they were. They honestly are a pretty deep team, considering you only run with 8 guys during the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They have a solid 8 guys. And Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard are great defenders. To me, the Raptors' biggest thing is are Siakam, Gasol, and Lowry going to show up? Mostly Lowry. To me, he has the most weight on his shoulders.
Yeah, and he's hurt
those
too.
3 guys, but to me, what did he hurt?
He hurt his hand. He's wearing a special glove and everything before.
So he's
and
still
after.
Playing.
Yeah, he's wearing it when he's not on the court. But yeah, he's apparently hurt his hand, and Kawhi's hurt his knee. He's hobbling all over the place. So I just think between those 2 injuries, it's not going to be enough. It's just too much to overcome. Even though Kawhi, I think, is a beast, and I think he carries his team more than Giannis does. I don't know, just the way he makes big shots, and he controls the ball a lot more, and is able to get to the free throw line and clutch situations. I don't know. I just think he carries his team a little bit more than Giannis does, because Giannis usually gets into the paint, and then he'll attract a lot of attention and usually kick it out, and then sometimes they don't, and then he'll just he'll get an easy layup.
Yeah, Giannis is definitely more of a distributor. Kawhi is definitely somebody that can, I don't know, if you told Giannis, hey, go get us a bucket, and you told Kawhi, hey, go get us a bucket, the game's about to end and we need it. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'd almost rather trust Kawhi just because he's a better shooter. And, I guess a little bit more savvy at getting to the free throw line, like you said, and Giannis, if it's not in the paint or not wide open or an assist, good chance he's not going to make it. So
does either team have a chance to beat the Warriors?
Okay, so
or is this already wrapped up? Is this already they have won the championship?
No, I mean, I could use hindsight after it's over and be yeah, it was over from the get-go. We all knew the Warriors were going to win. But as of right now, I'm going to be an optimist and say that it's not a done deal. Now, I didn't realize that Lowry and Leonard were so banged up. So I think that kind of changes everything, because I was going to say that either team has a chance to win their series and either team has a chance against the Warriors, because to me, they both are pretty deep and defend well. and play a slower pace game, and the Warriors don't want to play slow pace. So I like both teams' chances. I like both teams' chances better than I liked the Blazers' chance, which I guess isn't saying a lot. But I almost like both teams' chances the same, if not better than the Rockets' chances. Which is better than, again, the Blazers. Like, it'll make for a better finals than what we've saw in the Western Conference Finals, ideally. But I didn't realize the Raptors were so banged up like that. So I think that changes a lot. I think that kind of, unless they miraculously get healthy in these off days, I would say that the Bucks will probably win then, possibly win in 6, depending on the severity of the injuries, and go on to play the Warriors. And I think if it's like Bucks Warriors, like I think it'll be like we're both seem to be leaning towards the Bucks. I'd say it's going to be a 6-game series. I don't think it'll be like a sweep or a gentleman's sweep, but I don't see the Bucks taking it past 6. Like I don't think anybody just estimates how good the Warriors are. But yeah. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it's like Tom Brady. Like you have a hard time betting against them. Like every time you bet against them, everyone's like, dude, you're an idiot. They've been doing this every year. Like, why would you bet against them?
Exactly. Yeah. I look like a jackass because I think I bet every time against them and they won the Super Bowl. So like, just look like a jackass.
Yeah, and I guess that's just the definition of greatness. They just never stop winning, and that's the other thing too. And maybe it's just us. Like I feel like if I'm like, it's a lock, the Warriors are going to do it. Something crazy is going to happen, and the Bucks are somehow going to win, and it's going to be like the 2016 Cavs championship. It's just going to be the most epic thing ever.
2011 Mavericks.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the most epic thing ever. It's no one's ever going to stop talking about it, and it's just going to be one of those infamous championships. But like if I were a betting man and I was forced to make a bet and put money on it, I would say Warriors, and I would say I'd give the Bucks the benefit of the doubt, give them 6 games. What do you think?
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I can't really add anything to that because that's pretty much how I think it's going to go. I think it could even go 5, honestly. I think there's that much of a discrepancy between the two teams, especially because I think the Warriors have been sort of like lackadaisical at times, and I think that now that they're just like, we're 4 wins away from winning the championship again, like, there's really no excuse to be lazy anymore, and I just think they're playing so well together. And they kind of enjoy not having Kevin Durant out there. But, in the same breath, he could come back any second. Then they're even harder to guard. So
yeah, that's kind of what I think the biggest X factor, like if that's the finals, the biggest X factors are going to be Giannis and injuries or like, maybe suspensions if somebody gets a 7th technical. But like it's going to be who's going to, if they can shut down Giannis, they'll win no problem. Because to me, I'm not worried about anybody else offensively on the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, granted, they got a squad, they got shooters, but if they find a way to slow down Giannis and contest those shooters, or at least, contest some of them, the Bucks, to me, have no chance because they're not going to stop Curry, Thompson / the Warriors offense, where Looney and Draymond get free dunks every so often. So, to me, they're not going to stop that. So if the Warriors can slow down Giannis and everybody stays healthy on both teams, to me, the Warriors walk away with it. The Bucks would either, again, Giannis would have to be amazing or like some kind of crazy or injury suspension would have to happen to the Warriors, which I don't want that. I mean, whenever it comes to things like that, I want everybody to be, full strength and we just battle it out and whoever plays better wins. I don't like injuries and outside factors being a thing. It always creates these debates and these what ifs, and I'd just rather it be like, hey, both teams were healthy, and this team lost. The other team played better. I'd rather it be like that. So, and if it is like that, if everybody's healthy, I'd say the Warriors walk away no problem.
All right. Well, you got anything else to add?
I was gonna do a rap review.
Dope.
That's about it. You have any rap?
No, I don't. I don't listen to rap. You kids, your fancy subwoofers.
Well, I like that bass really rocks the windows on the house. We'll have to get new shingles or something. I don't know. Goodness. Yeah, you kids and your hippity hop. So I had a couple of rap moments. So the other night we had some people over. One of them or two of them are like in like literally like 20 or 20, like they're 21 basically. Like they're younger, and one of them's an aspiring rapper. The other one is African American, so he I guess knows the rap game. You know, he knows what he's talking about. He listens to that stuff. So they're over here hanging out, and Homicide comes on the shuffle, and the African American man, we'll call him Desmond. He seemed to enjoy it. I don't remember what the other guy, let's call him Tyson, thought of it. But I can't remember if they both liked it. But basically, Desmond was like, "Yo, like this is good. Like this goes hard. Like yada yada. Like yeah, it beats tough. You know, who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Logic and M." And he's like, "Oh." Because he's not like a huge M fan.
Yeah.
He's like, M's on this song? And I go, yeah. And then like right there it goes, Slim Shady. And like, you know, M jumps in and like does his verse. And I guess he kept listening. And then like today at work, he started playing it on his phone. He's like, Money, you got me on this song, man. Oh, actually, he calls me Dollar. Dollar, you got me on this song, man. This song right here. And I was like, what is it? I can't hear it. He goes, this Homicide, you know, Logic, you know, Eminem. You know, he goes, he just spits on the beat so hard. He just, these lyrics, you know, and I was like, yeah, man, like, I'm glad you finally recognized. And he goes, yeah, it was just, you know, he just kept kind of going on about the, you know, the bars and the lyrics. And I was like, I know, like, you honestly, like, you need to listen to his other features. Like, honestly, like, a lot of his features, like, recently, he's just going hard and dropping a lot of lyrics. And I was like, honestly, my favorite one that I could think of, or like one of my favorite ones is Caterpillar. I started trying to tell him about Caterpillar. And I was like, literally, he's got like a whole 16-bar verse about like pooping. And I was like, it's hilarious. It's epic. And I've already covered it on the show. And he's like, that sounds interesting. And I was like, it's insane. I was like, I'll read it to you if you want. He goes, text it to me. I want to read it. And so I like went on Rap Genius, copy pasted it and texted it to him. And he like read it and he was like, oh man, like that's good. He's like, I had to go back and read the first part and the part after that. And then like, it's all connected. And like, he's like, and it's like, it's all crazy. You know, he's just like blown away. And he especially liked the shit is real like a poop Jerusalem line. So like that was good. And, so anyway, that's kind of a rap moment, but I won't bother recapping the lyrics because I've obviously already covered it before. But I did want to give a shout out to M just because I feel like I've already done this one too, but maybe it's been long enough to where it doesn't matter. But I remember back when this album came out, you know, one of the guys at work said he didn't like this song off of M's new album, Kamikaze, and I was like, yo, like I like that song, and I was mainly just saying it to argue with him, but I wasn't like necessarily crazy about it. But the more I listened to it, the more I like really like the song. Can you guess what song that is?
Off of Kamikaze?
Yeah. Song
you weren't initially crazy about, but you like you're feeling it more and more.
Yeah, and I feel like I've talked about it. So maybe if you can't guess it, it's been long enough to where I can repeat the lyrics or repeat the song.
I mean, it's obviously not The Ringer. It's not the greatest.
Nope.
Is it Stepping Stone?
No.
I don't know then.
Normal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is
dude.
a weird one.
I don't know what it is. I just love the flow, and then like some of the bars are fantastic. But I don't know. I just love the way he flows at the beginning, and then it kind of has like that weird middle part, and I'm like not crazy about it. But then it like transitions and gets better, and then I like love the ending. But like the very first verse, like when he's like, she thinks I'm being mean, and now she starts to scream and shout. She lets the demons out, about to see. She doesn't want me to see me with other females out. I tell the bitch, beat it, take the scenic route. And like, I don't know, just, yeah. She retaliates by trying to leave the house in an evening gown with her cleavage out. We've been down this road too many times for me to count. And then like, I don't know, just like that flow, like the way he just, like, it's like not like anything profound, but just like the flow of those words is like to me really smooth. And like the way he does it on the beat, is just great. And then like in that second verse,
it's just words you would never expect to rhyme with each other.
Yeah, like they don't really have much business rhyming together, but the way he places them and the way he pronounces them, it all flows and works and, rhymes. Yeah. And so, let's see. He's like, I'm totally open, hopelessly devoted so much that I bet she doesn't even know that she's the first thing I think of when I wake up and the last thing I think of before I go to sleep. Psych. Hope she doesn't notice me going through her purse because I know she cheats. So do I. Soulless. She's heartless. No wonder we're partners. About to go hundreds of charges, domestic disputes, but we've always swept it under the carpet. Like, what? You know. And then he like just even when 911 gets the call that I slipped up and busted her jaw with a Louisville Slugger because all it really does is make our love for each other go stronger. She won me over the second she tried to run me over. Told her I keep it 100. We over, kicked her out, called her back. Now she's coming over, and so good. And then what's the other thing? Oh yeah, and he's like, that's why I keep bringing up that one time she tried to 2-time me. Like, I don't know, just like that play on words there is a lot of fun.
Good.
Till I cry, heave. How could I be so naive? Should I turn and lead this entire evening into a motherfucking crime scene? Yeah, just so good. Oh, and then, okay, this is my favorite line. This is what the whole time I'm reading these verses, I was like, yo, this isn't it, though. There's a part of the song where I'm like, yo. And so it's this part. You can understand what he's saying, and to me, this is part of Chris D'Elia's inspiration for the napkins, bapkins, chapkins, flapping, bannikins, and fannikins, and all that.
Yes.
So the Eminem's line is, eat a monkey dick wrapped in a stuffed pita fajita, slut, treat it like a drum and beat it, complete it, and once you've succeeded, repeat it. Like, I don't know, just that whole line, like, it's really hard to say, and like the way, and how quickly and smoothly he says it. But then the very next line is, I love you, but I hope you fucking die, though. And he like,
yes.
You know, so yeah, it's very good. Very good.
Dude, yeah, that's a good point, though. That actually is a good song. It is a forgotten gem, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a story to it. You know, there's like a little story about her cheating with Milo, who drives a high-low, and you know, blah blah blah, and it's just a good song.
True. I do want to submit something to the most decent moment of the week.
Ooh, yeah, we haven't done that. Most decent of the week. What's happening?
I got one. I can't believe I forgot about it. I guess it happened a while ago, but I just need to say it because it's so funny to me. So I think I've bitched on this show before about like I have that partner in my group who's, you know, she always makes up excuses and stuff of why she can't go to meetings and all this other stuff about like my senior design. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, basically that's the gist of it. So like basically we came to the end of the class and it's time for like evaluations. And so like I put in the evaluations, I was like, yeah, she's like never there. She's always late. Like I think I put like, yeah, she's like under like work ethic, and I was like, great work ethic when she's there. Like I never like said something nice without like a backhanded compliment. Like just yeah, I really love it when she's there. It's, you know, but it's so rare, you know, you gotta appreciate it. So like she put in the group message, like no one responded. She put, what's your guys' final grade in the class? And she's like, it's on the transcript. And then she's like, oh, never mind. I got the feedback y'all gave me on my peer evaluation. Thanks, y'all. So like she got the peer evaluation, and then she said,
she got all 3 of them back?
4. Yeah, there's 5 of us in the group, and I talked to 2 dudes, and they both dumped on her, and the other girl I'm pretty sure did too. Like, so we all dumped on her.
And what'd she say? She said, thanks, y'all?
Yeah, she put, I wish if y'all had a problem with me sooner, if you had a problem with me, you would have discussed it with me sooner. I feel like I did just as much as others in this group, but instead some of y'all decided to take it out on me that I worked and couldn't make some of the meeting times. I also think it's very funny how none of y'all respond to me on here. Anyways, best of luck to y'all.
I'm glad she's not petty about it.
Yeah, she's really upset. She's like, oh, I think it's very funny. Like, I can see like how bitchy she is about it, and like,
oh yeah,
I love that none of us responded to it, and we had to do like a very minor thing after that. And like the other girl brought up, like, this was like one day, and then the next day, without responding to it, like she was just like, hey, has everyone put their name on like this paper, basically on like a Google Doc, like basically just ignoring her rant. And so, like, I also just love how, like, she brings work into the equation because, like, I worked and another guy worked, and we were always there. So I just love how she had, like, to make that excuse up. And just, like, my favorite part is, like, through all of that bitching and moaning, like, we're in a GroupMe app. So, like, you have the option to, like, you can, whenever someone puts in the text, you can put a little heart by it, like you liked it. And I liked her, like, rant, basically. So, like, she knows I saw it, and I still said nothing and couldn't give a shit less. Like, thought that was really great. And then at graduation, you know, we're all, like, alphabetically aligned, and our like I'm sitting like 3 or 4 chairs down from her, and someone else in like graduating with me was like, "Hey Reagan, what's up, dude? Like we made it." And like I went past her and was like, "Yeah, dude, I can't believe we made it. Yeah, it's great. Glad." So like I saw her and acknowledged her, like not at all. Like I didn't care at all. So
Oh,
yeah,
I love that feeling.
I really
That's so
enjoyed like
great.
how petty I got with that. So yeah.
Oh, I would have been even more petty. I mean, like, I guess liking her message is like the ultimate, but I think I would have replied with like, thanks. Like, I don't know. I've been like, yeah, I got an A in the class. Thanks. Like, I don't know. But yeah, definitely that is, oh man, that's such great stuff. I had a couple of groups like that. I don't know if anything as bad as that, but
Because it's
that
our
was
final
definitely,
thing. It's like our massive project, and
yeah,
like we all got an A on it, and she got like a C, so she barely passed.
yes. Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, it would have been even better if he didn't pass, but yeah, definitely.
Epic.
Good stuff there for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had an example like that, but yeah, definitely just, that was always one of my favorite things. Is that's your favorite and your least favorite? Because while you're doing the project, you hate it because this person's doing nothing. But once the project's done and you get a good grade, you're like, this is so awesome. I got an A and I got to dump on somebody and make them feel bad and give them a bad grade. Oh, that's the ultimate, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I don't even think that goes under decent. I think that goes under like awesome, like amazing, like
Yeah, it is a little bit of a cheat based on that, but
no.
I need to share it.
I know it works. This is on the decent show. We
Decent can
know no
mean
different.
many things.
Oh yeah, like I mean, yeah, shit. Man, now I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously mine can't top it, whatever it is. I guess the most decent thing of the week for me is my subs, getting my subs fixed because, they went out when I was in Amarillo. Well, I was like, and that was back when I was crying at that job. So it's probably been over a year since like I've actually now you remind me of 2 points. You said something about women in work. Hang on, I got to talk about that. Hang on, I got to write this down. I don't want to forget that gym.
Yes, please.
But anyway, it's probably been over a year since I've had subs. So I've made multiple 9, 10, 8 hour drives plus all the DJ show drives, which are anywhere from, 30 minutes to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So and then obviously going to work every day, not a huge deal, like I said off air, but like just all these drives with, either that crappy Bluetooth speaker or my phone speaker or my headphones, like just not quality sound. Really just got to the point where I pretty much stopped listening to music. I was only listening to podcasts just because like music didn't sound good coming out of those devices.
Yeah.
So I would just listen to people talk, and then that was fine. I caught up on podcasts, and obviously we do one, so it's not hurting me, but I just haven't had music. And finally, after over a year, found somebody that would basically do it for next to nothing. And it took them 2 seconds. It was the easiest thing ever. It was basically some loose plugs. And now I'm jamming again. And it's like the greatest thing ever. Like I was so happy today. Like literally driving home from the gym, it probably takes me 5 minutes to get home. I did 30 the whole way home just so I could listen to 2 songs. Like it was
Nice.
fantastic. And it was so bumping. And then I like got the settings just the way I like them. So like because it wasn't that loud whenever I like first got it working again. And I was like, oh man, like this isn't as good as I remember. And then I like found that setting and my shit is bumping. Oh, it's so great. So yeah, it's probably the greatest thing ever. And now I'm basically just going to be spending the next week listening to all of my favorite songs that have come out within the last year on my subs. And now I'm actually excited for the next time I have to drive. And after that, I'll hate it. But for now, the excitement is there for sure. That's probably my most decent thing of the week.
All right.
Now women at work. So you mentioned you mentioned this girl saying she's like, I couldn't do the project because I had a job. Like you guys like don't understand how busy my life is. I have to work. And so that reminded me of my ex who kind of had the same attitude. And it didn't affect me because I was the boyfriend. So I was the reason she wasn't getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, like, I would be like, yeah, like, get out of the house, like, go do your group project. Like, it definitely wasn't me going, do you have to go?
Please stay with me as long as
Please.
possible. I almost have free time.
Can we watch your favorite show? Can we talk and argue? Like, please don't go to your group project. Oh God, would ruin my day to get to play 2K and hang out with somebody. But, and so like, yeah, that was like always her thing. Like, she would blow stuff off and not do her responsibilities because of, you know, her job / me, because whenever she wasn't at work, she was with me.
Mhm.
And, you know, but it was never my fault because, again, I wasn't telling her to stay and hang out with me. And also, like, she's not going to blame me for something that she's doing.
Mhm.
But she would always blame it on work. And I'd be like, you work at the fucking bowling alley. Like, not only do you work 4-hour shifts,
Mhm.
like, it's not long at all. So you still
No.
have plenty of time in the day. But also, like, most of the time our job is dead and nobody gives a shit. Like, I've done like 3 group projects at the bowling alley while working. Like, literally, like, I've had group meetings. Like, people would be like, yeah, we need to meet. We want to meet at this time. And I was like, hey, guys, like, I'm working at the bowling alley at that time. Like, I work the most of anybody down here, but no one's ever here and there's Wi-Fi. Like, if you guys want to come down here and work on it, we can. And then we would work on it. And if we weren't done by the time my shift was over, then we would go to the computer lab and get stuff done. Or we had divvied up the work and we just did it on our own time after that.
Mhm.
So, like, super easy. But no, not for her. I gotta work. Oh, I'm so busy. I wish you guys would have said something. Nobody else has a job. Nobody understands how difficult my 4-hour shift is. You know, that kind of stuff.
Living the dream.
Yeah. I just wanted that. I don't know. That reminded me of that. I just find it funny how, like, the most minor of things is, like, the biggest excuse. And, like, you don't understand because you don't have a job. Nobody has a job but me. I'm the only person in this world with a job and a group project at the same time.
Yeah, and that wasn't where that was rarely, or, you know, infrequently used as an excuse. I think her last excuse was, I can't, that day is Cinco de Mayo. And I'm like, that's not an excuse. That's just a thing you said.
Hey, Cinco de Mayo, that's like a big family holiday. Like, if I'm not with my family on Cinco de Mayo to light the tree, like, they're going to be pissed.
To light the tree.
To light the Dos Equis bottle, Molotov, you know, if I'm not there for that, they're going to be upset.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man.
Let me look at my notes here. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think I discussed it all.
Okay, well, me and I'm going to step out on the patio because I see lightning, and we definitely need to look at and critique this weather because it is fascinating.
God help us.
Never stops. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Decent Show, and we really appreciate all the interaction on Twitter that you guys haven't been doing, so make sure you keep commenting, and subscribing. Hit us on Twitter, YouTube, Apple, really wherever you have free time. And for Ray and Horton, I'm Ryan Money. Have a good night.
To a motherfucking crime scene. Maybe I'm just too ugly to compete with him. You weren't supposed to agree, you fucking bitch. Especially when you're